Hey guys, good morning. I just want to cover some markets here for the Fed. I mean, it's a whole lot of hurry up and wait again today. Let's just look at some things global macro. So I mean, overnight it's kind of more of the same out of the Bank of Japan. Nice pop. Um, Congrats to those that faded it. Got rewarded. But overall, I mean, the this long-term downtrend, dollar yen still in place. I was drawing this ascending wedge here, which looks like we're trying to break the lower bounds of it. Um, Kind of testing the support from earlier in September right here around 101.20. So this was an igniting bar from the bullish standpoint. So 99.95, it's all the same area. We keep holding par. So um, it's all going to come down to, I guess, the Fed here today. So I would just keep playing a range there. If you get knocked down to 100, you probably buy it. And conversely, looks like the resistance is up here 102.5, 103. The euro, I think you just want to use any kind of movement out of the Fed to keep playing the trend. So, I mean, if you make sales on the euro, anything 112 and a half or higher, you kind of want to just do it on a scale, but that's been the right thing to do. If you're short, you want to cover some into the bottom of the range down here around a 111. All right. If we go to the 4 hour, this chart's getting kind of sloppy. So there you can see our range. Okay. It's really, I guess, 110 and 3/4 to 113. So that's what I'll be watching on the Fed. I mean, I don't want to go long the euro, but I'm going to take a small short in, and I'll bid down here 111. I'm going to bid just step a little bit. Well, I mean, we're not that far away. Let's see, these lows we're holding 111.23, 111.25. Those were the lows from a couple weeks ago. So I'll probably bid a piece at 111 and then down here at 110.70 and maybe 110.50. So if the market flashes down there, hopefully I'll get hit. And then I'll start offering a piece 112 and a half and then double that size at 113. That's how I'm going to play the euro. Pound's pretty weak, guys. It looks like it's rolled back over longer term. So we talked about that when we went through this 134 and a half area. And so just stay bearish there. I mean, the bands have rolled over. The 8's clearly declining. This is a bearish setup. This is a bearish engulfing pattern. The daily or this 4 hour is about to roll back over. So, I don't have much on from this area at all. So I need a bounce. The 30 on the 4 hours back here, 133.66. Any kind of bounce back in this area, I'm going to reshort. If we look at sterling, it's the same. Pound's weak again. This is back in full on bear mode. So any type of rally above 130, you're supposed to be trying to fade it. All right, that's bearish. The only thing that you'd have to get all the way back above 132 and a half to change anything from the bearish trend perspective. Okay, euro yen, same thing, bearish. That was a nice place to sell last night. I was sleeping. I got up and traded London yesterday, so I was kind of tired. Dollar CAD. I mean, everybody has this resistance. So we'll see. It's going to come down to what the Fed does today. But what you really need to do is get a weekly closing above these levels. You got to get above 132.5 and close above it. Even I'd really like to see a move above 133 to feel comfortable that this is a breakout. All right, there's still some room on the weekly cycle, so we'll see there. But if that starts to break out, you would think that oil would be weaker. Is there anything I'm missing here? Currencies, I'm still playing bullish. Dollar lira, which is short lira. So this is my average cost. It was here, I moved it up to here. Kind of just moving sideways. I'd like to see another leg higher up here with everything that's going on in Turkey. And then I haven't covered the rand much. I think if I did short pretty well back here at Pi, I covered some this morning. It's a small position. I'll cover bits for some more down here. Euro pound, still very high within the range. Okay, this is what I was kind of expecting we might get as a right shoulder. So if it wasn't for the Fed standing in the way today, I like being short here again. Last time I was short up here. Okay, so it's time to be leaning short again. You want to pick up your short exposure. This is something we're playing longer term. Now this weekly cycle has some room to come back up, which is not the greatest. But if we go to the daily, when I like to start my swing trades more when the daily crosses. So this is where I want to start leaning short again. And then see if we can get a nice move lower. And you'll see when this crossed here, from the top of the cycle from the middle of August, you had about a 10-day move to the lows, right? And just because this crosses back up doesn't mean you end your trade. You just have to be aware that you want to start getting back most of your size, right? So I basically sold the high last time, and I'm thinking short again. There's a little bit of a topping tail, all right? So I think the next move is this way on that one. Okay, that's pretty much it for currencies. Now for oil, I just sold a piece this morning because I covered well. Okay, so if you covered well with me down here, around 43.5, 43, you can resell now. Okay, but ideally we want a bounce back here. 40, anything in here, you want to be a seller. The main resistance is at 47. You know, I'll get to sell a piece at 46, and then I'll probably lay out, you know, three. I'll probably get long puts in here also, but I'll sell, you know, 3 up here in front of 47, 3 contracts. Okay, so I still want to stay bearish on oil. Gold, gold bounced again off 310. So I'm actually small long. I really took my exposure down yesterday morning. I sold, did not do anything down here. And so far so good. I mean, this is actually bullish, the fact that I don't have my drawing tool out, but we made lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and now this is new higher highs, so that's pretty bullish. I mean, obviously the Fed can change all that in a hurry. But had the Fed not be sitting in the way here this morning, I'd be doubling my position on this candle, stop below the low. Okay, but I'm gonna just stay very small. You know, I'll keep a little bit of gold in my portfolio here and stay along some futures. But if you break these lows, this is the major level, then we're probably going to get a setback to 1250. It's the support level from down here in June. It's a 200. So I just don't want to stick around if this breaks on the Fed. I don't want to sit for a 100-point flush drawdown. So I'm just going to get to the sidelines and pretty much most of my size. And if we rally, so be it. I'll get back in on the hourly. Silver, had to move up this morning as well. I bought well here, so I just took half off. And if I had more position on, I would offer into this 2013 area. But I'm just going to keep the long side exposure. Maybe, who knows, we could take off to 21. Maybe new highs. It was small long on natural gas is making new highs. So definitely bullish there. I bought the low, sold half here, still long. Copper. You want to be a seller back in here to at pi, so 220. I don't know if I'm going to leave any offers out there through the Fed, but that's where you'd want to sell. What else am I missing? Cotton looks bullish here, guys. So I was originally long on this candle. It broke, so I stopped because I thought we might test pi. Then you came right back with a real money candle, which is bullish, so I got long. I doubled what I bought here. Took profits. This should be green. Took profits. All right. And now I want to see that this can easily run back into 76, 77. Soybeans. We've been bearish covering into pi. This is scraping along the bottom. It's trying to base, so it doesn't really know what it wants to do next. You get above these highs at 1018, 1019, then you can move back into uptrend. The reverse is true. If you break pi and these lows around 935, then you got to think a leg lower. So I'm doing nothing there. Wheat's still bearish. If you get any kind of strength or a pop there, you want to sell it. I did start a position on live cattle back here at the 30 day. This is in a downtrend. I'd like to see it break the 8 and roll back over, then I would add to it. That's kind of it for commodities. Long bonds I just put in the room this morning. We're still just hanging out at the 200 day. So, I'm going to go in small long 30s, and then a small short 5s. And I'll show you in 5s in a second. But the plan is, if we take off, great. Then to me, the long end rally's back on. And I would definitely sell some into this declining 30 day here around 169 in the contract. And then on the reverse, if the Fed knocks 30 or down, I'm going to even be bidding down here in pi. Okay, that's where I want to have a core long from until proven otherwise. So 160, 120, call it. Don't get too held. Those are areas, so don't just bid one level. I'll probably bid 162 and a half, 161 and a half, I'll probably bid 162 the buck, 161 and a half, and 160.25. So small long bonds into, I might even just play calls on the upside and not have any contracts on. I don't know, I gotta look at it. 5s, still in a range trade. You can see it pretty good on the 4 hour. So I want to resell any bounce back here, 121.15. All right, that's your sell zone on 5. So I'm going to play short 5s, long 30s, which is a flattener, as the curve is overbought now. And then lastly, stocks. This is the sell zone, 2160, 2170. If you give me I'll probably go in small short just because I think we're flagging here. I mean, there's no doubt that that's the pattern. So if we bounce, I sell a little bit more. I'm bearish as long as we're below 2190. And then, I'll just watch it obviously on the Fed. If we get knocked down, then you want to be covering into these lows, 2115, 21, a step in front of 2100. and then maybe even lower lows. Okay, it's kind of the same for the rest of the indexes. And then the VIX, I should have bought the VIX yesterday. Bought a little here, which is not on the chart because I had a coaching session. But it's the same game plan. You get knocked down on the VIX. Anything below 13, get long VIX calls. If you get a pop 18, 19, start taking some profits. All right, guys, I'll see you in the room. If anybody's new, join my trading team. It's free to sign up. Forex traders, commodity traders, equity traders, bond guys, you name it. The traders all over the world. Day trading, swing trading, longer term positions. This morning I have a live room event also, trading the open Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you can join me there. The details are on the site, jenkinsrm.com. And it'll probably be a slow morning, so maybe I'll look at some longer term positions on. Maybe we'll look at do a global macro top down on the overall markets and countries, and then maybe we'll look at some individual stocks. All right, guys, I'll talk to you a little bit later.